There are other things that have been happening in Parliament, so it's a very long day. Let's start with the car loans for loans for vehicles for members of Parliament. What has become of that particular conversation in Parliament?
It's just a lot of conversation, as you indicated, happening here in Parliament in connection with that, because the processes to allow for that particular process have been unfolding. There's been the reference of the document in question to the Committee on Finance after the Deputy Finance Minister, Abner Osei, relayed the document on the floor earlier in the week. We are still waiting for the Finance Committee to actually consider this and return with their report. From what we are told, this is actually not something that the Finance Committee has completed work on it as at yet. But we've been getting a lot of details on what exactly this whole deal is all about and what it would mean. We all know that it's actually a contract and a loan facility that has been procured from the National Investment Bank to the tune of $28 million. But government is virtually just guaranteeing it. It's going to members of Parliament specifically, and members of Parliament are expected to pay back portions of that loan. Earlier, the indication, as we had all heard from the members of Parliament, was that they were going to pay back this particular loan in full. But going through the documents, now we're gathering that they will not be paying back this particular loan in full. So let me just run you through the specific details of that particular contract. It's a $28 million contract. When it comes to the repayment, the repayment is supposed to be done over a period of 45 months. The indication is that government will be paying 60% of the loan back on behalf of members of Parliament. The MPs themselves will be paying back just 40% of the amount. There is an 8.5 interest rate on the said money. That again, government will be paying for. And this is money that is being procured in dollars, but it will be disbursed and paid back in cedis. And so any difference in the rate is also something that government would have to pay back to the National Investment Bank on behalf of the members of Parliament. So those are some of the terms that have been spelled out. And we've also been gathering that this is actually something that was contained in the recommendations of the Professor Bedu Ntiamwa Committee's report, which was actually commissioned by President Akufo-Addo and came to Parliament for Parliament to approve the emolument for the executive arm of government. But it was the President who approved the emolument for the legislative arm of government. And to run you through the details of that, when it comes to the facilities that are actually supposed to go to members of Parliament, apart from their salary, which is actually 28,000 cedis gross, and that's for ordinary members of Parliament, and the Speaker will be taking 35,000 cedis a month. MPs are also additionally supposed to get a facility on transportation, which is actually the point that the state should facilitate a car loan not exceeding $80,000 for members of Parliament, and 60% of the cost will be borne by government and 40% by the MPs themselves. Apart from that, MPs will be getting an official accommodation or 20% of their consolidated salary if they don't get that official accommodation. And the recommendation says all utilities and furnishing are to be borne by the MP, as this is already included in the said consolidated amount. That's not the only thing that they are getting. They are supposed to get office accommodation in order to help them get their work through. They are additionally supposed to get mental and dental services as members of Parliament, and they are supposed to get other benefits, including what is described as installation grants, equivalent to 2 months' salary, paid only on the assumption of office. And then for those who are committee chairmen, there is an incentive of 30% of 1 month of the consolidated salary for them. And for those who are committee members, 25% of 1 month consolidated salary payable quarterly. Those are some of the benefits that MPs are getting per the recommendations of this particular committee as well.
You know, lump it up to get together for our viewers. We probably will break it down in some graphics, infographics, so that they can appreciate all those details. They're quite a lot, and interestingly so. Joseph, thank you. Thank you very much for that update. Joseph Opoku Gakpo is a parliamentary affairs correspondent. He joined me from Parliament with those details.